Hi everyone, I'm Gary Summers and welcome to the audio edition of Mind, Body, Soul. I'm here with my good friend Lucy O'Driscoll, and she's going to talk about her body, mind and spirit retreats. Welcome, Lucy.
Thank you, Gary. Great to be here.
So Lucy, can you just give our listeners an idea of how did you get started with body, mind and soul retreats?
Well, I attended my first retreat ever about 35 years ago, believe it or not. The nuns had something at Littledale 35 years ago, and I went to this retreat, and I just couldn't believe how peaceful I felt after a couple of days. And there was a lot of chaos going on at the time, and just that time out, and it stayed with me for years and years and years. So fast forward 20 years ago, when I had an opportunity to try this on an experiment at my own retreats, that feeling that I had after coming out of Littledale for that weekend, I said, if I could pass that on to people, that'd be awesome. So that's the seed where it all started.
And I guess it's all about helping people feel better about themselves, isn't it? So walk us through the normal format, because I presented at your retreat now I'm going back pretty close to when you started too, right? Yeah. So just walk us through, what people could expect to see, because I know from my standpoint, when I walk in to do a presentation, you just get that positive energy that everybody is like-minded, everybody is there for the same reason, everybody is there, wants to take away something from it. So just walk us through the format of from Friday to Sunday as to what happens.
Okay. Well, I love to eat, so we start with supper. Friday evening we have a nice meal together, and then we go into a ceremony, an opening circle. And then after our opening circle, we have our first session on Friday night. And you have choices. There's always 2 or 3 sessions happening, so you get to choose. Nobody tells you what you have to take. You choose from a number of different presentations. So we have a class on Friday night, and then Saturday morning we have another class, Saturday afternoon, the third class. Saturday night, I always like to incorporate some music if I can. A sing-along or some way to get up and dance and just shake it out, and that's the Newfoundland Irish part of me. I'd like to do that on Saturday night, have a guest speaker, something different social on Saturday night. Sunday morning we have our last session, and then we have finish with lunch, and then a closing circle where people get to talk and say what they got from the weekend.
And as I said, I presented a number of times. Where do you get your facilitators from, I guess? And can you give me some ideas to what are some of the events or sessions that people would be interested in attending?
Yeah, I get local whenever possible. I have brought some people in from Montreal and Ontario and that, but generally local facilitators who have their own businesses, so that when you're finished a retreat, you can go and continue to get help. And a lot of people also make such good friendships and partnerships, after the weekend as well. So, for example, this one coming up in September on Woody Island, I got Miranda Squires, who's got her own studio down on Prescott Street, Dr. Brenda Callahan-Flirt, and Nora Squires are some of the presenters for Woody Island. So I get them local whenever I can.
So I guess the big question that a lot of people are asking is why? Why would I, as a listener to this recording now, why would I want to go to one of your retreats?
Well, the reasons that people come to the retreat, the feedback I've been getting anyway, is as varied as the individuals coming. Sometimes it's just plain and simple, I got to get away and take just a break. There doesn't have to be any drama going on in your life, but if there is, it's an excellent place to be. Like some of the workshops are some really big transitions happens. I'll give you the name of a couple of workshops now that are coming up in September. Nora is going to do how to make energy work for you. And she's also going to do EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. And Miranda is doing a session on how to clear problems. Not that any of us have any problems, but if you have one or two, you can come and learn how to clear problems.
You brought up a point, how to make energy work for you. Because so many people, their energy is working against them. And that would be a great session for anybody who feels drained, who feels like there's not enough hours in the day, who feels like, when am I going to get out of this hole? I've dug a hole for myself and I don't know how to get out. So yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, continue.
Okay. And then Brenda is doing how to own and love your story. So accepting yourself and who you are and where you've come from. And another one she's doing is using your imagination to move forward. So like these are samples, but sometimes some of the big shifts that happen are not even in the workshops. It's in just the conversations that you have over supper, or the socializing on Saturday night. So there's lots of opportunities.
Because I can imagine people with a similar story will talk to someone who went through the same thing, and well, how did you get through that? And this is how, wow, I never thought about thinking about it that way. And so, yeah, those stories where people share successes on how they managed to climb out of that dark hole that they were in can be pretty beneficial to everybody who attends.
Yeah, it's a safe place. I think I have a good ability to hold a space. I do a little ceremony myself using smudge, using sage to clear it, and it's a safe place. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to pretend. You just be yourself. It's a place for healing, and people are open to that, and it just works. I've been doing it for 20 years. It just works.
And that really says it all. For 20 years. You got more seasons than Dr. Phil. But I think the word that you said which was really critical, is safe, is no judgment. Is because everybody is there for the same reason. Everybody wants to make life better for themselves. And, there is no perfect person in the world. So saying that is really critical to me, to say that you're coming to a very, very safe place, and pretty well sure you're going to feel better when you leave than before you came.
Well, that's another lot of the feedback that I get for years. I get a lot of women that come to my retreats and they never have any problem getting away. Like the husbands, or there's like, yes, because when they come back from a retreat, they're on a high and life is just easier. Like sometimes we just spend too much time trying to make the outside world fit what we think we need it to be in order for us to be happy. So you come here and you learn that you got to maybe sometimes do some inner work. And that's where you got to get that right. And then the outside world fits a lot better.
So you're doing Woody Island in September,
Yes.
And you usually do 2 retreats a year.
Usually, yes.
Are you going to have more again next year?
Yes, we will have more next year. I haven't got them booked or planned yet, but COVID is going to end. And I can say about the Woody Island, I did one there last year, and it's the perfect place for a retreat. That sense of getting on a boat, and it's a 40-minute boat ride, and just moving away from the land. And then Woody Island itself, they cater a lot with groups have food issues with gluten-free and vegetarian. They do it with style. They really cater well, and it just works phenomenally well to go to Woody Island. And also it's September the 20th of 2020, and the equinox is on the 22nd of 2020. So look at all them twos, all the duality that it's just going to be, the earth is warm in September. The breezes are beautiful. We're going to have a fall equinox celebration, and equinoxes are about balance. So what a perfect, to balance the whole light and dark of ourselves and of the earth. So it's going to be a great time.
It's the place to be in September 2020. So I guess just to sum it up, Lucy, can you give some people some of the benefits of coming to your retreat? I know there are many, but can you just give a couple of what people could expect to walk away with by spending 2.5 days on Woody Island, or at any retreat, actually?
Well, I've seen people come in on Friday evening and they're held so tight, like your shoulders are almost up to their ears. They're just so tight. And by Sunday morning, the shoulders are relaxed. Their just body is just more relaxed. They feel, what I've been told is that they just feel like, okay, I got this now. I can move forward. It's like taking a weight off your back, like laying down that sack of trouble that you came with Friday evening. And it's just like, I can do it now. I'm in a better place. I'm rested. You don't have to cook, you don't have to clean. You're just in a more restful place, and it just in a better, opens you up a little bit.
And I think you made a good point where you said, to take that sack of troubles and lay it down, but also to have some tools and skills so that you don't pick it back up again. That's the biggest thing. Lucy, thanks very much. As you're listening to this video, Lucy's contact information is there for you to view. And do you have any spots left for Woody Island?
Yeah, now they can accommodate 35 people with the safe distancing because of COVID. I'm only taking 22 participants, so I'm giving people ample room. I've got 13 people registered now, so I've got 9 spaces left.
Great, Lucy. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, and it's certainly great to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me.